It is time. Hi, everyone. Time Tano here, the internet's least shaven music nerd, and it's time for another tier list where we go over the top 10 singles according to Billboard of a given year. And we tier them out from S to F. That's what we're doing. We've done the 2010s. We have done a couple of years from the 2000s so far. This episode, this installment, the year 2003. This should be an interesting one, especially considering how many bangers were in the 2002 video. Like, if you guys remember, the tier list is over here. So many bops from 2002. So many good-ass bops from that year. In fact, so many good ones. Someone had to remind me that there was one that was strangely missing from the list. Now, this was on Billboard's Hot 100, but it ranked really low on the list, maybe because it came out very late in the year. It also ranked on Billboard's Hot 100 for this year as well, even though it dropped technically in 2002. Of course, we are talking about the Eminem song, Lose Yourself. Boop, here it is. There we have it right here. How can you have a tier list for the best singles, most major singles of a given year, and Eminem's Lose Yourself is not in the mix for 2002 or 2003? Seems kind of just, ridiculous. I mean, I remember this song dropping when I was a kid, and you couldn't freaking get away from it. Now, because I feel like the song should be mentioned, I'm going to throw it over in the S tier, because, I mean, it is fire, great beat, cool little guitar intro. I mean, the lyrics, blah, 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 mom spaghetti, blah, mom spaghetti, 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 mom spaghetti. But really, it is a very powerful and dramatic rap song, and I think one of the most triumphant and widely accessible and exciting songs to ever come out of mainstream rap ever, and certainly worthy of all the play and praise it's received over the years, even if it has become, a slight meme. We can get into the main list now, though. The first one at number 10 that we're talking about is, of course, Evanescence's Bring Me to Life. This band's key song. This is the Evanescence song. And really, I think the anthemic ballad for, kind of heavy 2000s era alternative goth metal with a little bit of a rap tie-in. The Evanescence record here has a little bit of everything. It's got those heavy riffs. It's got those bars. It's got that, very kind of cool and chilly, melodramatic goth essence with, the strings sounding very refined. I don't know. I'm really torn on this track, honestly. More torn than I think I've been on any song thus far in this series, because while it is massively catchy and there are some elements of this track that I think are objectively good, it's simultaneously one of the worst things I've ever heard. And I cannot listen to this track with a straight face. I can't even talk about it with a straight face. As I'm talking about it, I'm thinking about the way it sounds, and I'm thinking about just how over the fucking top and again, melodramatic it is, and it's just making me giggle. I cannot listen to this track without laughing. I don't know why. This song is completely ruined for me. I can't even sing it without laughing or just sort of performing it in a mocking way. Again, while I think there are elements of the track that are well performed and produced, and the structure definitely hits. That chorus bursts in and wake me up inside. I can't take it seriously at all. I really can't, and I'm trying to. I would like to. I would like to genuinely enjoy this song on some level, I think, but I can't. I just think the song is hilarious. Maybe something that is so bad it's actually kind of good and entertaining in a way. I don't know. I'm going to put it in F. Honestly, I'm going to put it in F. I really don't know where else to put it. And I'm kind of confused about it because, I mean, I wouldn't say I like it in an unironic way. I feel like I like it to whatever degree that I do is very ironic. I think the song has its merits, and maybe there are some people out there who can genuinely listen to it without, having a bit of a giggle, but I can't. That's not me. Okay, next we have the one and only Kid Rock with the song Picture, which features the wonderful Sheryl Crow. It's a pretty straightforward country ballad about just the kind of scummy life this guy leads, and you have the male perspective of the song. Sheryl Crow brings the female perspective of the song. Some good singing, a solid chord progression on the track as well. Good chorus. The one thing about the track instrumentally is that the bass I think is kind of lacking, and the drums are obviously like fake as fuck, and I think a little unflattering. I think something more organic would have been a lot nicer on the rhythm end. I actually enjoy this track. I think it's a good song. I think it's a very good song. I mean, maybe you kind of bat an eye at it because it is a Kid Rock song, but I think the thing that makes this song successful and makes it so sweet and entertaining is that it doesn't sound like a Kid Rock song. I'm flipping off the sheriff and drinking a beer. Everybody hears that I am here. I'm gonna smoke a blunt and drink a 40. I keep talking about girls cause I'm horny. Yeah, if he was coming at the song like that, it would rank a lot lower, but because it's a pretty standard, sweet, enjoyable, and lyrically detailed ballad, it's actually good. It's actually enjoyable. I'm actually surprised that Kid Rock at any point in his career had the maturity to pull off a song like this. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. I would put it in the B tier. We can put it in the B tier here, and hopefully Kid Rock one day can develop another flow or make some good, decent ballads like this. I think that would be for the best for society, because it's whatever the hell he's doing now on his new records is not it. Also, I feel bad for Sheryl Crow that one of her most popular songs of all time has Kid Rock attached to it. Okay, next we have the Aaliyah track, Miss You, which comes off of a posthumous compilation release that dropped in the early 2000s. We talk a lot about the release of artists' music after they have passed, and there's certainly been a lot of talk of Aaliyah's music having been dropped on streaming. I'll say about this track overall, the singing and the songwriting are both quality. The production, I think, is maybe a little saccharine or overly sappy. I think to kind of evoke from fans this feeling of, again, missing Aaliyah, and things are like very heavenly and idyllic with like birds chirping everywhere and so on and so forth. Like, there are elements of the beat and, again, production that I think have not aged very well, but I think the song and I think the vocals at the core of everything are certainly there and are certainly quality. It's very kind of smooth, enjoyable, serene kind of R&B ballad, and I would put it pretty solidly in the B tier. Okay, next we have one of the biggest bangers out of hip-hop and the Midwest in the 2000s, in my opinion. That would be the club hit Right Bar from Chingy. A lot of the young folks out there don't know Chingy, and I mean, I understand why. He didn't have the longest or most successful career. He's not really named in a whole lot of GOAT conversations. He's not exactly a lot of people's go-to when it comes to like a top 10 or top 15 or anything like that, but at least in some cases, Chingy knew his way around a club banger, and right there is one of the best. The rhythms on the production are fantastic and smooth and grooving. Chingy's vocals are expressive. The hook is absolutely addictive. The rapping and vocal performance are fantastic too, and obviously, like, it's worth noting that the way he slurs his language on the track brings the song a whole lot of personality, and pretty much makes it entirely. I mean, it's literally right there in the goddamn title. Yeah, it's not exactly like deep or the most profound song you've ever heard, but when it comes to like just unadulterated fun, this track is it. It is a well-engineered bop and banger. I would put it in the A tier right there. Okay, next we have Matchbox 20's Unwell. We have talked about Matchbox 20 a couple of times at least in this 2000s tier list series. I'm very well acquainted with this song. This is a track where the band almost like doesn't go fully country, but they're almost like kind of, doing a bit of a nod to that sound and that vibe with like the banjos worked into the track in a very tacky way, I might add. I wouldn't say the banjos are tasteful. The song at the core of all of it isn't bad, but I think this track does suffer a little bit from boring verse syndrome. But when that chorus pops in, no, 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 no. But pause. What is with the cover art on the single? I've never had to in the series so far like stop and comment on the cover art attached to one of these singles. I mean, the art is often new to me because, you know, usually you're more acclimated to the album art of these tracks than you are to the art specifically for the single. But is this like a cracked egg with baby legs? It has chubby toddler baby legs and feet, but it's also an egg and it's cracked. But the egg is attached to the legs as if it's like a part of its body, but it's also cracked.
What?
Not nearly as bad as some other singles we've talked about thus far in this series from Matchbox, but not amazing or mind-blowing either. I would put this one over in C. Coming up next, we have Three Doors Down. Another one of these like very emotional, alternative, melodramatic rock bands that, you know, kind of scratch that Matchbox 20 itch, if I'm being honest. I wouldn't say they're one and the same necessarily, but like, you know, was there a lot of crossover back in the day in terms of fandom? Yes. Even as a kid, I think I probably confused one band for the other, at least for a single or two. So hold me when I'm here, right me when I'm wrong, hold me when I'm scared, love me when I'm gone. The vocals aren't that bad. I'm really kind of overdoing it, but yeah, I just have a difficult time taking rock music like this seriously. I just didn't really care for it back in the day. It's not really doing much for me now with the wave of this stuff having crested, and it, you know, I think just hasn't aged very well. If you're really into or curious about stuff in the style, I would much rather opt for something like, let's say, the debut Third Eye Blind record. That one has better singing, much better songwriting, greater variety of tracks and, you know, intensity levels across the entire record. You know, Three Doors Down, I don't think really offers much that other bands already weren't during this point in time. Their music isn't offensively bad, but I just, you know, don't really see what was all that interesting about it in the first place. This track I would put over in the D tier. Okay, next we have Beyonce's Crazy in Love with Jay-Z. God damn, this track's fantastic. It sounds so freaking good. It still sounds so freaking good after all these years. The horns, the driving beats, God, Beyonce's lead vocals, those refrains that come in with the horns as well. This track is just snapping from front to back. There's not a single second, not a single moment of it that is not fiery and fun. And, you know, the way Beyonce and Jay-Z trade off toward the end, Jay's verse and everything, is really good as well. You could kind of give this track the side eye because it seems like, okay, you guys are like a thing now, and it seems like you're just kind of, you know, trying to commercialize off of your relationship to, you know, just kind of make money in the music industry, which, I mean, they did, but at least we got one of the greatest bangers in pop rap and R&B out of it, so... Next, we have a song that was in very heavy rotation in the club when I was young. That is Sean Paul's Get Busy. And what can I say about this track? Sean Paul's vocal performance, I think, is very distinct. I think the driving beat on the track, though I do wish there was a bit more contrast to it, is really good as well. I like a lot of the you know, keyboard work in the background. I think it adds a lot to the contrast between the chorus and the verse. The rhythms on the cut are mesmerizing. Love the cross fusion of different genres across this track as well. There wasn't a whole lot of mainstream pop rap at this level, embracing elements of raga at the time. You know, I think if my memory serves me correctly, this track was pretty much like the prime example of that at the time. You have to give Sean Paul credit for helping to, you know, break the levees a little bit on that. There are elements of the track that I think are a little repetitive and one-dimensional, but overall, I think it's a good dance cut. I think it's a good track for the club. Next on the list over here, we have the one and only 50 Cent with In the Club. When it comes to hip-hop music in the 2000s, like, the club was kind of the place to test run music, to break music, to make a name for yourself, to define yourself artistically. And as a result, a lot of the popular music in the genre at that time appealed to that context. And 50 Cent's In the Club is no stranger to that. In fact, I would say it's one of the best and most relevant tracks to, kind of scratch that itch. It's literally telling you it's trying to do so in the title. I think it does it well. The keyboard riff at the start of the track is instantly recognizable, super simple, but great. 50's flows and his refrains and chorus throughout the track are fantastic too. His ad-libs here and there also add a lot to the song. Love the way the keyboard phrases kind of progress and mature a little bit as we kind of transition into that very epic chorus too. Even though music consumption on the internet was not in full swing when this track dropped, and its release and popularity very much came through more traditional media means, it still felt culturally like a very viral moment. Very catchy, very groovy, and in my opinion, like really kind of at the top of its game when it comes to kind of competing in that club banger lane. I would put it very firmly in the A tier. Finally, in our list, we have Mr. R. Kelly's Ignition. This is a special one. So I made a very special tier for this track. We are going to unleash it now and reveal it to all of you. It's right here. So we're gonna do this. All right, we're doing it. Yep. Okay. All right. We're sliding it over my head because we're being a little chaotic here, and that's fine, and that's okay. A little bit of controlled chaos is good for you. All right. Now we're taking this. We're putting it in the J tier. But yeah, there you go. That's 2003 in a nutshell, I think. We got some good bangers here. We got a good balance of bangers. And then that one silly little Evanescence track that I can't quite take seriously. It is what it is. All right, I think I can leave it here. You guys are the best. Love you. Mwah. Let me know what you think of these tracks down in the comments below. Love them, hate them, feel somewhere in between. Tell me. Tell me, I demand it. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, 2003, forever.